Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for this short series on how to crochet for absolute beginners. To begin with, you will need materials, which is your yarn and crochet hook. For the yarn, I suggest a basic, inexpensive double knit, which is the most common yarn weight, also known as light worsted or category 3. Now, when it comes to the hook, you get many different types. Here, I've got two common types. There's the one that's padded, and then there's the steel hook. I personally prefer the padded ones as I find them to create less or even no friction on the fingers. And for that reason, they are more comfortable to use. Hooks come in a variety of sizes. You will see on the yarn label there is a recommended hook listed. For a double knit, it is a 4mm hook. I will be using a 4mm hook. As a beginner, if you already have yarn and a hook, go ahead and use what you already have, regardless of the size of hook or the weight of yarn. Now, just before we start, know that I will be showing you the way that I am used to crocheting, but as you go on, you will find a way to hold your yarn and hook in a way that comes most naturally to you. This comes over time and practice. Let us begin. Get out the tail end, which is the start of the rolled up yarn. This may be on the outside of the skein or ball of yarn, or it may be hidden in the middle of the skein of yarn. Either way, pull out that tail end. We begin by forming a slip knot. Fold the tail end of your yarn as I am doing here. With one hand, hold down on your yarn just to secure it in place, and with the other hand, twist your yarn as I am doing to form an X. Now, using your thumb and index finger, pull on the yarn that's attached to the skein or ball and not on the tail end as I am doing here. Gently pull on the yarn to form a slip knot. Insert your hook into the slip knot. Pull on your yarn to tighten up on the slip knot. You want the slip knot close to the hook but not tight. Everything that I show you here is for a right-handed crocheter. Unfortunately, I do not know how to crochet with my left hand. Hold your hook with your right hand, and we will now wrap the yarn around our fingers on the left hand. Wrap the yarn around your little finger, skip your ring finger and middle finger, and wrap the yarn around the index finger. Hold on to your yarn using your middle finger and thumb. Now, you do want to make certain that your left hand and right hands are close to each other and not further away as it is here. Make certain that you've got a nice distance between your two hands. With your middle finger and thumb, hold on to that slip knot right here. We will now form chains. You want to be certain to work your chains along the length of yarn that's attached to the skein and not on your tail end. Wrap the hook around your yarn as I am doing here to sort of catch on the yarn and gently pull your yarn into the slip knot. We've now formed a chain, and we will repeat the process to form a length of chains. wrap the yarn around the hook and gently pull through the chain that we had just formed to form our second chain. Make sure that your tension is always kept slightly loose so that your yarn is able to flow through your fingers. Should you be holding your yarn too tightly, you will find it difficult to work these chains. Keep your yarn loose around your fingers. To work the third chain, wrap the yarn around the hook and gently pull through the second chain. You will repeat this process until you formed a length of chains. At the same time, continue to move your thumb and middle finger closer to the hook as you work. Repeat this process until you have a length of chains, and as you are practicing, this length of chains should be evenly spaced and each chain must be uniform in size. Now let me show you how to count your chains. If you look closely, you have 2 loops that make up a chain, and this is your first chain, that's your second chain, and then you have your third chain, and so on. So when you are counting, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Now this is the front of the chain, and when you turn it around, this is the back of the chain. And here along the back, you see these little bumps. So that's 1, 2, 3, and so on. In our next lesson, we will be working into the front of the chain. First, practice to get your chain evenly spaced. Work as many chains as need be. Remember, this comes with patience and practice.